Hi, welcome back to my channel, and to all my new subscribers, hello! It's so good seeing you guys. This is going to be a little bit of a different video than my last one, which brought a lot of new viewers. So if you're expecting tech, I do that sometimes. Today is not going to be one of those videos. Today, we're actually going to be going through my recommendations for expensive skincare dupes. I love skincare and I love makeup, and I think all of the products are super fun and interesting, but they're expensive, especially with inflation and especially post-COVID. I think that there are certain areas you should, oh my God. I think there are certain areas you should, I'm losing my mind. I think there's certain areas you should splurge in. And skincare is really a mixed bag. A lot of skincare items are pretty similar, but they have very different prices. So I'm actually gonna walk you through some pretty popular expensive items and dupes that I think are comparable or even better. So my first one, because it's about to be spring and summer, sunscreen. Sunscreen is a really mixed bag in the US because we have pretty outdated filters compared to other countries. So famously, Korean skincare is much more advanced and their sunscreen filters do a lot more, much better. So you won't get a white cast, you won't get a smell. And if you can find Korean skincare, then more power to you, it's great. Sometimes you can find it in main stores. A lot of times you have to go to specialty markets or get it shipped. And sunscreen in general in the US is pretty much the same. You can have a zinc sunscreen or you can have other filters. And one that I've used a bunch is actually this Dune sunscreen. It is fantastic. It smells really good. It blends into my skin really easily. There's no white cast. But at my local HEB, it's our grocery store in Texas, they sell this spray sunscreen that comes in a bunch of different scents. This one's cucumber. This is $7 and this is $32. And you definitely get a very specific experience if you want a gel. I think it's great. But for a spray sunscreen, this smells great. And if you don't like this scent, they have a bunch of others. And I always find myself reaching for it. It's just easy, it's cheap, I can always pick it up before I'm gonna go swim. And I think in general, there's a lot of really high priced sunscreens in the US. And if they're using US approved FDA technology, then they're not that advanced to begin with. And if you're looking for something more advanced, I would go the French route or the Korean route. My next item is actually facial exfoliators. I've seen a ton on the market, and for the longest time I've used the Tatcha rice exfoliating powder, and I love it. It's amazing, but that small jar is $70. When I needed to replace it, because I actually dropped it in the shower and I was so sad, I still had a good month left in that jar, but everything spilled out on my shower. I went to Target and I actually reintroduced myself to a brand that I used to really like called Versed. And Versed makes this Daymaker Micro Crystal Exfoliator. This tube is $16 and the Tatcha is $70. And the products I would say are definitely different, but this achieves the same effect. It's got a pretty abrasive microfine exfoliators in here. And I've really enjoyed it so far, especially because this is going to take me a long time to go through, just like the Tatcha did, but the difference is about $50. My next item is facial cleansers. So I had mentioned actually in one of my previous videos about Glossier that I've used the Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser for years. It's really gentle on my skin, but it will still break apart makeup or eyeliner and things like that. And it's something that has always made my skin feel really nice and hydrated, even though I have oily combination skin. What I would actually replace this with is the Prequel cleanser. Now, the Prequel cleanser is very similar. It's super gentle on your skin and it's about 50% glycerin, which is great. The main reason why I would suggest this one is Glossier's recently updated their prices and the Milky Jelly Cleanser is $22 now. The Prequel cleanser is $18. And I mean, I don't really have to explain that any further. They pretty much do the same thing. The Prequel one, I really hope I can find in stores because when I bought this, I bought it when there was no shipping charge included. So it was just $18. I think if you buy on their website, there's an extra 10 added. So I would suggest either loading up on a couple of their products or just waiting for a sale. But as amazing as the Milky Jelly Cleanser has been, this is too small of a product. I've been using this for the last month and a half. I'm about halfway through this bottle, and that's a pretty expensive thing to have to regularly replace. Next up is moisturizer. I use moisturizer every single day. I think everybody should. And since I have combo oily skin, it's taken me a long time to find one that works for me without making me too oily. And the two that I want to show you guys are actually the CosRX Advanced Snail 92 All-in-One Cream and the As of Today R Peptide Cream. So this is the travel trial size of this cream, and this is the full size of this cream. The our peptide day cream from as of today is amazing. It's a luxury moisturizer. It costs $68 for a full bottle. The full bottle of the CosRX cream was $19 on sale at Ulta. And obviously these sizes are not comparable, but these moisturizers are very similar to me. I would say that the R peptide cream is a nicer moisturizer, but at the end of the day, you're moisturizing the very thinnest layer of your skin on your face. Do you really need an expensive moisturizer? I think there are moisturizers like the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream that is raved about, and especially if you have mature skin, I would definitely suggest going more in that direction because that's a much thicker moisturizer. But if you're looking for something every day, I've noticed that moisturizer prices have gotten more and more and more expensive. And once again, this is not a US based brand, and CosRX is killing the game. They make serums, they make eye creams, they make this moisturizer. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know if this would be great for people with dry skin, but I just wanted to include these two because it's kind of a good example of luxury versus mid-level luxury. Like this is not your CVS generic moisturizer, but I think for the amount that you get and for the price, it's totally worth it. This one's a little bit more of a general category, just like moisturizers. It's actually body moisturizers. I've been using this Gold Bond moisturizing cream for the last like 6 months. I actually mentioned it in my 2023 favorites video because moisturizers are also one of those things that I see becoming increasingly expensive. And there are certain moisturizers I think are worth it. If they have skincare benefits, that's great. If there's a scent you really like, then that might be worth it for you or a different type of bottle or a larger size. But for the most part, this Gold Bond cream was $12. I have a bunch of tattoos, and so I have to keep myself pretty moisturized. And this has always done a really good job, and it's super easy for me to replace. So I used to use a couple of nicer moisturizers. There was one from Necessaire. I have their body exfoliator, but I used to use their moisturizer, and it's great, but there is nothing particularly special about it. And when you're paying $50 for a body moisturizer, you end up using it a lot less, which in my book means that I was getting a lot less benefit consistently because I wanted to save it. So something like the Gold Bond cream is not something I want to save, and so I use it a lot more regularly. But I will say on the luxury end, if you want a body exfoliator, the Necessaire body exfoliators, especially this eucalyptus one, is amazing. It does a really great job and it smells just perfect. So especially if you want a little high-end skincare luxury spa shower moment, this would definitely be a good buy. Another general category is toothpaste. I actually tried a bunch of different toothpaste over the past couple of years. I feel like there's always a new brand or there's always a new claim. And for the most part, I just need toothpaste that has fluoride because I got little weak enamel in my teeth. Friend of a friend had the whitest teeth I've ever seen in my life. And what he uses is the Arm & Hammer toothpaste. So I've been using this for at least the last year, year and a half. And the last time I went to the dentist specifically asked me what I was using because she noticed that my teeth were just a bit whiter and she was surprised I was able to maintain it. So I would really suggest it. It's like $4, and a lot of the higher end like Colgate or Crest whitening toothpaste are 8, 10, 12, sometimes $15. And for the most part, I don't think that there's that much of a difference, especially when you look at the ingredients or the fluoride content. So just for an everyday nice clean and a little bit of whitening, the Arm & Hammer is definitely the way to go. Next up is deodorant. Now deodorant is like, as a category, it's exploded. The products are everywhere. There's a bunch of full body deodorants, which I don't necessarily get. I guess it depends on the day and the climate, but I don't really want to put deodorant everywhere all the time. A brand that has exploded is Native. Native has got really minimal packaging. They have a ton of different scents and they're super, super popular. I have tried multiple versions of Native deodorant and they just do not work for me. I live in Texas. I would not say I'm a particularly super sweaty person, especially under my arms, but I never really noticed that it was able to neutralize odor in the way that I needed. Now, to give context, I don't use antiperspirant deodorant. I haven't used it since I was in middle school, barely. And I've actually been using Old Spice deodorant for the last couple of years, or actually the last 10 years. And it has always been aluminum free. You always have to look for the blue top. They smell amazing. They've started to make more sense to cater to more gender neutral or even feminine scents a little bit. It lasts all day. I can be super sweaty and gross and I never smell bad. And that is definitely something I care about, is never smelling bad. I would say if you're gonna go for deodorant, you could go for Native, that's like $13 and is a real mixed bag, or you could just go for the tried and true, aluminum free stick deodorant, and this is like $6. My next category is actually fragrance, and fragrance is really a mixed bag. Sometimes luxury is worth it. Like I have this Chanel Sport fragrance that there is not a dupe of, and it's amazing. I love it. I splurged, I used a coupon, and I love wearing it all the time. It smells amazing. For most of my other fragrances, I've actually bought a couple of the Dossier fragrance line. This one's the Aquatic Lime, which is a dupe of the Aqua Geo or Aqua Dio, I think. And I used to have that fragrance. This Aqua Lime smells exactly like that designer fragrance. That fragrance is about $120. This was $29 at Walmart, which actually, pro tip, they sell Dossier fragrances at Walmart now, so you don't have to ship them. But in general, dupes are a little bit of a hit or a miss, especially because not every single fragrance is duped, but I would say the majority of the main popular ones are now. And I would definitely suggest getting a dupe. I don't notice a difference, and at the end of the day, you're paying for scented water and oil. So might as well save a little bit of money there. Especially because when I buy a dupe of one fragrance, I feel a little bit better about buying the luxury of another fragrance because I've saved money. And when I do girl math, I'm almost making money because I didn't buy 2 luxury fragrances. This is kind of a random category, but I see a lot of supplement ads all the time. Like there's AG1, there's a bunch of different gummy supplements I think Khloe Kardashian made. And I have tried a bunch of different supplements over time, especially just for consistent like gut, stomach health. And the one that has always worked, I wouldn't even say this is necessarily cheap because it really isn't, is the Align Probiotic. It comes in these little packs. You can get like a month's supply, and I don't take it every single day. It has revolutionized my gut. I am lactose intolerant, and I've noticed way less issues when I take this probiotic consistently. It has helped when I'm sick. It has helped when I'm feeling bloated. It just has been a very consistent force in my life in a way that every other almost luxury supplement I don't think does the same amount. And I've learned Align knows what they're doing. So if you're looking for a probiotic, in general, I would suggest them. Okay, my last category is primer. Now this is kind of a skincare makeup hybrid. I don't wear face makeup very regularly. Most of the time I'm just wearing like accented eyeliner type of makeup. And I really enjoy primers because like I said earlier, I have combination oily skin. So my T-zone gets oily, and primers sometimes really help with that, especially when it's hot outside and I want to stay looking like nice and even. So primers, once again, a mixed bag. I kind of wanted to give example. This Morphe 2 blurring stick is $6 at Target. This Milk Makeup Eclipse Pore Primer is $20, and this is the travel size. This is like the trial size almost. They both pretty much do the same thing. This is not true for all primers. There are certain primers like the Milk Hydro Grip that's an amazing primer, and there's some dupes, but they're a little bit different. This is an example though of 2 primers that come in 2 different forms that pretty much do the same thing for me, and the cost is very different. I think you really have to pay attention to the ingredients in makeup and especially in primers to figure out what's most similar, and the application. Even though this one's a stick and this one's a cream, at the end of the day, they dry and kind of mattify my face the same way. And so for the most part, I see them as the same. One luxury primer that I definitely think is worth it is the Demnessa Myricks Universal Yummy Skin Balm. This is where luxury actually makes sense because Demnessa Myricks has played a lot with formulation, and this is like more of a matte balm, and it goes onto your skin almost like a serum, and then it mattifies, and it is very much worth it. It's expensive, it's like $40, but I would say once again, if you're going to splurge on a few luxury items, I would go for the ones that are pushing technology in a different direction, or have an innovative package or something that makes them unique, because for the most part, pore smoothing primers are all the same. So that's my video. I hope that some of these suggestions were helpful for you guys. I try products all the time. I have really narrowed them down to work for me. I love my skincare. It is simple, it's relatively cheap. I use it very consistently. And I would say that my skin kind of shows it. I don't really have acne. I don't have a lot of like trouble issues with my skin, but that's after a lot of trial and error over the last like 10 years. So if you guys have any questions or your own product recommendations, please leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. And thank you guys for everybody who's been subscribing. I love seeing you. I love all the comments on my last video, and it really just like feeds me and my creative energy to keep making videos for you guys. So I just love seeing it, and I will see you guys next time.